Hello, hello, hello. Today we are talking about government workers being forced to return back to the office. Yes, Trump has now become president and he has forced the workers to return back to the office. They are upset about this, and in this video, TikTokers explain how they feel about it.
I know I am
Person
not the
number
only
one.
one who watched last night as the new president signed the letter stating that we had to return back to work. No more remote work. I am flabbergasted. I couldn't even sleep. Look at the dark circles around my eyes. I am stunned, very upset. What have federal employees ever done to y'all? All we do is mind our business. Yeah, there's a lot of employees who are betting their livelihoods off of being able to telework and work remote. A lot of employees who decided to move in other states because they're able to work remote, fully remote, or mostly remote. I'm just very upset. Like, I have so many questions. When does this start? You understand? Like, we have to start making preparations, putting the kids in daycare. Like, it's a lot. And I'm so mad. Like, I couldn't even sleep all night. I have been up since 4 in the morning. And I'm still not tired. Who needs coffee at a time like this? Yeah, coffee is when I'm sitting and I'm relaxing in front of my computer. You understand what I'm saying? Who can sit and relax now? Not me. No, I couldn't even take out my pin curls. You understand? Who got time for that? Not me. What times do you need me to be in? And what does the traffic even look like? And will I be able to pick up my child from daycare? I have so many questions. I am so upset. So I know I'm not the only one. Comment and let me know how y'all feel. Because this just can't just be me. This can't just be me freaking out like this.
Person
So the
number
peoples
two.
are in a frenzy. Trump signed an executive order for all federal employees to go back to work on February 6th. So the remote workers are mad. But if you ask me, I think it's only right. I mean, they have been off for the last 5 years. Because I've been doing things that's business oriented for the last few years, and honestly, standing in those long lines because there's not enough people in office, or freaking having to set an appointment online for a future date is very inconvenient, especially when you didn't even know. When you go to some place and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you gotta set an appointment online. Before, it's like usually I'll just pop up with my documents and y'all get me situated. Now, because nobody's in office, it takes time. So yes, go back to work. Like, why y'all so angry for? I don't understand. Like, y'all have 5 years off.
So Trump is
Person
trying to
number
get federal
three.
workers to go back to work and stop their remote work agreements and their telework agreements. And at the same time has implemented a hiring freeze. So if people are forced to quit because they can't move back for various reasons, they can't afford it because it's really expensive to live in a place like DC, for example, or they're caring for family members and remote work makes it easier because they don't have to commute 2 hours every day each way. And now there's a hiring freeze, so these people might quit, and not because they don't want to work, has nothing to do with them not wanting to work, because a bad employee doesn't work in the office and they don't work at home. A good employee works just as much from home as they do in the office. Okay? I've seen this for myself. So don't believe any of this bullshit where they're saying government workers aren't working from home. Like, it's just not true. But if you're going to force people back to office, but not be able to hire new people, and then you're saying you want to get people back to the office because there's been a degradation of services, hello, logic would dictate that there's going to be an actual degradation of services if you can't hire new people to fill those vacant positions. And really, I think it's because they want to get people, like, to cripple the government. Like, Trump actually wants to cripple the government. Musk wants to cripple the government. Has nothing to do with them caring about American citizens not being able to get services that they need from government employees or federal agencies. has nothing to do with that. Not to mention, I think apartment building owners and restaurant owners are pissed that government people are working remote because it means they're not getting as much revenue. And really, those restaurants and apartment buildings are owned by huge corporations. It's not very much your mom and pop shops. It's mega chains that are in most cities. So don't believe this propaganda coming from Trump. Like, he doesn't actually care about you.
Person number
Some of y'all
4.
choose the weirdest things to be up in arms about. Like, why are you complaining about people not wanting to go back into the office after working remotely for several years? Like, that's what we're mad about? That's the hill we're gonna die on? And I can't stand being around people who are like, I suffered, so you should suffer too. I always had to go into the office 5 days out of the week, so you should too. That's not fair. It's 2025, and we've discovered that, hey, you don't have to be in the office for 8 hours 5 days out of the week to get your job done. Why does that kill y'all? Questions that need answers. Comment down below why some of y'all are so mad that people are against returning back into the office. I need to know, because it doesn't make sense to me. We have so many other things to worry about, and this is the hill that y'all want to die on.
Person number
This has been a
5.
very chaotic week so far. I think that is entirely the point. The goal is to keep people confused, keep people scared, so they make poor decisions. January 27th, a memo comes out saying, hey, we want all the agencies to get their plans in place by February 7th. Then an email goes out saying, hey, everybody, you have the opportunity to resign, do a deferred resignation, and you can continue to get paid through September. But only if you decide that you want to resign by February 6th, the day before the plans are supposed to come out. Why would they have a requirement that people have to make that decision before the plans are released? Why do they not want people to see the plans before they agree to resign? We can obviously only make guesses. Confusion is clearly their entire goal. There's no consistency across agencies. Agencies don't seem to know what they're doing. Some agencies are putting out information and then taking it right back. I think it was USDA last week. They say, or maybe not last week, but at some point they said everyone come back into the office right away. Then they're like, oh no, just kidding. We're going to roll out like a phased return to office as soon as office space is identified and remote and telework policies are updated. Then HUD, I think they said like February 10th people had to be back in the office and that were non-bargaining, and then February 24th bargaining employees had to be back in the office, but I don't know if that is still the case. I haven't seen the actual memo or like any reasoning behind the difference between the two groups and the different dates, or how they address the collective bargaining agreement. Do you just want to point something out? People have this perception that government jobs are so cushy, so protected, nobody can ever get fired, etc. And look what's happening. Look what's happening to these jobs that people think are so secure. So if these jobs that people think are so secure can have stuff like this happen, where the employees are just used in this ping pong way as political pawns, what do you think can happen to corporate positions and other positions? People need to start supporting each other and letting their elected officials know that this is not okay.
Person
And let me say
number
this
6.
right quick. How is that the government workers are complaining about going back to work into the office? Are you freaking kidding me here? You've been home for 4 years, making probably over $300,000 when we've been went to work. Okay? So what are you complaining about going back to the office for? Like, COVID is still around, but the COVID restrictions are done. Y'all should have been done, if you ask me, god dang it, 2-3 years ago, when we all had to go back to work. So go back to work and stop complaining shit.